What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. So as you guys can tell, we got my 21 Road Glide on the motorcycle jack, and that's what we're going to be working on today. So you could probably tell by the title and the thumbnail, we're going to be adding highway pegs back to the Road Glide. If you guys are an OG of the channel, you'd know that we added highway pegs early on when I first bought the bike. I had them installed and they worked great for me for many of years until about like a year or 2 years ago now. I switched out my crash bar, which is why I don't have them on anymore. So I went with the newer Harley flat out bar, which I'll show you here in a second. With that bar, you can't use the standard highway foot peg mounts. So we're gonna go with a different product here because I definitely need highway pegs. I have dealt without them for a little bit now, and I can definitely tell it fatigues me a little bit more. It is definitely a pricey option. However, I just finally caved in and bought them. So this is not a sponsored video by any means, but just kind of an install video. So let's get into it. So as I was telling you guys, I have the Harley flat out bar, and there's nowhere you can really put those stock highway pegs. Like down here, they don't pinch well and they don't come out far. So I'll show you here what I got at the workbench. So I'm going with the Ciro frame mounted adjustable highway peg mounts. These real simple, bolt to your lower floorboard mounts. These are like 300 bucks or whatever. I'm just gonna reuse the highway pegs that I had on my last setup. Like I said, I did not want to have to spend this, but I need highway pegs. So let me get this unboxed, figure out what I need, and we'll start the installation. Okay, so I got everything unboxed. Their instructions are always top notch. You don't even need this video. Hardware comes already in these brackets and whatnot. So I'm just gonna spend a little time quick and put all the lock washers and the washers on in the correct orientation that they show in this diagram. And then we're gonna head over to the bike on the right side. I'm gonna start by using a 3/16 hex and a 7/8 box wrench and start to remove the floorboard screws. Alrighty guys, so the 7/8 wrench, it said my floorboard required a 7/16 for the nut on the back side. The front side was correct with the 3/16, but like I said, the back side was 7/16. Took that out, and then down here I took off this bracket, which is a 5/16 hex, and then per the instructions, loosen up the back bracket, which is also a 5/16, just to allow for play. And then according to the instructions, said this hole is unused. That was false. I got this bolt out of here. I looked behind here, there's nothing here, so it is an unused hole, but my 21 from the factory had a bolt there. So just so you know, you might run into that. But right now at this point, I'm getting ready to install this bracket back on. I'm going to use their supplied Allen for this hole versus the one that came out of it from the factory. Like I said earlier, I already went ahead, put lock washers and washers on everything according to this diagram. Went ahead, put Loctite on it. So it's a couple days later, so I had to ditch installing these the other day because I ran into a slight issue. I didn't read the fitment on JP Cycle's website, so I didn't even realize it till I got in to start working on everything that my Vance & Hines header pipe came with spacers, and it says right on JP Cycle's for the fitment, if you run spacers for your aftermarket exhaust, you're going to need another spacer and a longer bolt. So I had to figure out what spacer size I needed, and luckily these were only 1-inch spacers. So I was able to go on Amazon, and I'll have the link down below in the description for these. I just bought a generic floorboard spacer kit that they make that you can just extend your floorboards out. I just got 1-inch spacer, and luckily it came with new hardware, the length that I needed. I could have definitely found a cheaper solution to that, but for 20 bucks and not really having to do much research, I think it was well worth it. So I went ahead and just kind of got back to where I was the other day. So right now we're gonna install the actual floorboard mount extension here. So the following Ciro 3D's instructions, I got the lock washer on correctly. Obviously we'll have the spacer on the back side, and then the new hardware with a lock washer, flat washer, and then Loctite, and then add the spacer on. And once again, they're a 5/16 hex, and we're just going to tighten these down. Once we kind of get everything tightened and in place, it's going to be 36 to 42 foot-pounds for the torque spec. All right, so we got our bracket on. I got everything just kind of snugged down. I went ahead and reattached the floorboard for now. So I'm going to go ahead and re-torque the two floorboard mount bolts as well as the rear floorboard mount bolt. Like I said, 36 to 42 foot-pounds. So I'm settling somewhere in the middle, about 38 foot-pounds. Before I torqued those three bottom floorboard mounts, got them loosely snug, and then I went up here and reattached the floorboard to the foot peg extension. And then, like I said, got that snug down. Then I went down here, torqued everything to 38 foot-pounds, and then I came back up here and, according to my service manual, torqued that back down to 60 to 80 inch-pounds. At this point, I already went ahead and installed my highway peg to the bracket using the provided hardware and the D-spacer. So right now I'm getting ready to attach this to the actual floorboard mount bracket. Super simple. Ciro 3D doesn't have any torque specs for these, so I'm just going to go the old good and tight. And then what's nice about it is you have adjustment here to swing this around. Obviously it'll go something like such here. So you obviously have adjustment any which way there. This also has adjustment here. And then once I get that all set, I can back out that Allen and rotate the foot peg around to kind of how I want it there. So definitely tons of adjustment that you can make to just dial it in just perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead, get this mounted on here, kind of get it set up to how I want it. And then pretty much that's done. We just got to do the other side. And the other side shouldn't have nearly as much hassle because it doesn't have the spacers for the exhaust. Other than that, this is a super easy install. So for the clutch side of the bike, same ordeal, 5/16. We're going to loosen up that front floorboard bracket, and then we'll loosen up the rear one just so that way it gives us some play. And then we'll take out this little 3/16 screw that holds the floorboard onto the support. Start by taking that off first, and we can take this off and then just loosen this up. So that's what I'll be doing right now. Okay, at this point, I have the floorboard bracket off. I have the rear part of the floorboard loosened up, so that way we can move it around and get everything set nicely. We're using our stock bolt, add a washer, so it'll be lock, washer, then washer. And now we can use the other bolt that came with the Ciro 3D kit, lock, washer, washer. Oh, I almost forgot, got to take that dead screw out. All right, so now we can install these. Let's try to get them finger started. This is already definitely much nicer without having to worry about the spacers on the back side. All right, so I'm gonna just go ahead and snug these down. And before I get too crazy snugging them up, I want to make sure I can get the floorboard bolt started. It's kind of nice to leave everything loose till you can get that started. So I got that floorboard support screw through and started. So now I can go ahead and snug up the bottom two hex bolts. And then once I get both of those snugged up, then I can torque them down to the 38 foot-pounds. All right, so I'm gonna torque those down. And before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten back down that rear floorboard bracket, snug that back down so I can torque that as well. Like I said, these are 36 to 42 foot-pounds, so I just have it set to 38. At this point, I can go ahead, tighten that floorboard screw down, and that's going to be 60 to 80 inch-pounds, so I have it set to 75. All right, 75 inch-pounds. I think I mentioned earlier, everything that I'm using blue Loctite. It's also recommended in their instructions. I already went ahead at the bench, assembled this arm loosely, got the D spacer in there, got the foot peg on, Everything's loosely put together until I can get everything set how I want it. This is always the fun part, is trying to get them to look equal and level on both sides, especially when you're by yourself, because it's kind of nice to be able to sit on the bike and get it from your rider's view and then have somebody else look from the front or the side. Definitely makes it a lot easier to line everything up, but I'm just going to kind of jump back and forth here a little bit, play around with it, get it dialed in exactly kind of how I want it to the other side. And that's pretty much all that's left to do, other than wipe your fingerprints off everything. But overall, this install was super easy once I found out that I just needed to buy the other floorboard spacer. Super easy, but definitely looking forward to having highway foot pegs again, because my hips were hurting after some period of time because my legs just want to stretch out and there's nowhere to go. So I'm gonna get these adjusted, get everything wiped off, and I'll catch back up with you guys. So I just got everything cleaned up and got them wiped off, so let's go check them out. So there you have it. As you can see, these brackets mount in those two places, and it replaces your floorboard support, and then yeah, highway pegs. So if you guys got the Harley flat out bar or a straight bar kind of like I do, this is kind of your means to get highway pegs. So like I said, super easy to install. They are pretty pricey, especially if you don't have pegs already. It really jacks up the price. So if you have an old pair of pegs or something laying around that you can reuse, I would definitely recommend that, because these were still $300 just for the brackets, which in my opinion is pretty ridiculous. But when you do long rides and you want comfort, you know, you will pay the price for comfort. So there is that. So as always, I will have the link down below in the description for the exact set that I got. And then, like I said earlier, I will have the link down below in the description for the spacers that I used because of my exhaust setup. Like I said, it was a little bit pricier. It was 20 bucks. Could easily get a spacer and a bolt somewhere for probably way cheaper, but I didn't feel like running around and dealing with the hassle. It was just a lot easier hopping on Amazon and just ordering it. And those kinds of bolts and spacers, you know, you could always find uses for them somewhere down the line, so I'm not too worried about it. But if you guys made it this far in the video, make sure to smash that like button, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon so that way you guys stay notified when I post new videos like this one. Make sure to ride safe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace!